Alright. Bring the 3 down. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. The derivative of negative 2 is 0. We did good on that one. Number 6, you need to rewrite that as 4x to the 1/2. 1/2 times 4 is 2. 1/2 minus 1 is a negative 1/2. Some of you left it like that. I gave you partial credit, but you know that's not the form. You need to rewrite that as 4 over the square root of, 2 over the square root of x. Sorry. Huh? 16 points. There were 16 points apiece. There's 6 on there. Yes.
I put that and you weren't wrong.
You put this right here.
I put 2 over square root of x.
Yes, I got number 4 right.
Number 4 is right here. Goes with that. And I'm looking at the 6.
No, I just saw the answer for number 4 right there.
Okay, I just need that. That's not the right answer. That right there, since you didn't put that, that doesn't equal that. That's why I'm working on that. Has been right.
I know that's why I circled that one. I was like, I just heard it from this.
Make sure you write so.
I can do it to be serious. I can do it to be serious.
When I take them up, you keep an eye on them. I'll change it, okay? All right. Look at number 1. I'm not going to work number 1, but if you seriously have a trouble with number 1, then you need to come to 0 period. The f prime of x equals 4. Then I want to find the IROC at x equals negative 2 and x equals 1. Well, if I plug negative 2 in, there's no place to put it, so it is 4 and the other one is 4. So all 3 of those answers are 4. Alright. Number 2. F of x equals 3x squared plus 3x plus 3. The derivative is 6x plus 3. The IROC at negative 2 is negative 9. The IROC at 1 is 9. Let's look at this one. Alright. I'm going to find f of x plus h first. I'm going to plug that in for x. So 3x plus h squared plus 3 times x plus h plus 3. Okay. Now, can you just simply square x and y here? No, you come to the side and do x plus h times x plus h. I'm not working that out. You should be able to do that by now. When you do that, you get x squared plus 2hx plus h squared plus 3 times x plus h plus 3. That gives you 3x squared plus 6hx plus 3h squared. Distribute the 3 here. 3x plus 3h plus 3. So now, the formula. The limit as h approaches 0 of this whole thing minus the f of x. Well, if you take x and plug it in, won't it be the same problem? What does that minus do to everything? So I'm just going to go and change all the signs so I don't have to do that step again. All over h. Well, at this point, everything that doesn't have an h needs to cancel out. This cancels out with this. This cancels out with this. This cancels out with this. So I got the limit as h approaches 0 of 6hx plus 3h squared plus 3h all over h. Well, if I do direct substitution, if I take 0 and I plug it in here, it still gets 0 in the denominator. So how can I get that h to go away? What toolkit strategy can I use? I'm going to factor out an h on the top. You say, Mr. Ish, I could factor out a 3. Yes, but that's not going to do you much good. All you need is that h out. You got me? So I'm going to take an h out. They're going to give me a 6x plus 3h plus 3. H's go away. Now I'm going to do direct substitution. Plug 0 in there. That goes away. Your derivative is what? Because that 3 times 0 is 0. So that's my derivative. Now I plug in f equals -2, and I find my IROC for -2 and 1. Any questions on that one? All right, let's look at number 3. You got one of every type of these on your test on Friday. You got one easy like number 1, one like number 2, one like number 3, and one like number 4. Number 3. F of x equals 3 over x. Alright? The limit as h approaches 0. Now I'm going to do f of x plus h. I take x plus h, I plug it in, I just get 3 over x plus h. Minus f of x, that's going to be 3 over x divided by h. If I do direct substitution, I get 0 in the denominator. What's my toolkit strategy I'm going to find here? Find a what? Did everybody say find a common denominator? What would be my common denominator? Both of them. So here, if I multiply this denominator by x, what I got to do in the numerator? Minus. I'm going to multiply this by what? So I'm going to multiply this by x plus h. Alright, that gives me the limit as h approaches 0 of 3x. That's going to be a negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times h is negative 3h. All over x plus h divided by h. I'm going to rewrite it like that. At this point, you see your x's cancel out. You're left with negative 3h over x times x plus h. Flip it. There's no plus or minus here, so you can cancel those h's out. The limit as h approaches 0 of negative 3 over x plus h. Well, now, if I plug 0 in here, I get x plus 0, which is what? X plus 0 is x. X times x is what? That is my derivative. L prime equals negative 3 over x squared, because x plus 0 is x. X times x is x squared. Now, I want to know what my IROC is at negative 2. I plug that in. That's going to give me negative 3/4. Plug 1 in. That gives me a negative 3. Are there any questions on 2 and 3? All right, let's look at number 4. We don't need to be doing that homework right now. We need to be paying attention, because I'm sure you got a planning period at some point today. F of x equals the square root of x plus 2. Alright, the limit as h approaches 0. Okay, I'm going to find f of x plus h. Well, I take that, I plug it in, I get, I don't know why I put them equals there, but that's going to be x plus h plus 2. I plug that in right there, minus f of x will be square root of x plus 2 all over h. Do direct substitution. I get 0 in the denominator, so I got to think of something. What strategy I'm going to use there? I'm going to rationalize the numerator. And when I do that, I'm going to do x plus h plus 2 plus square root of x plus 2. Now watch this. When I say this times this, what happens to my square roots? So you're left with that, aren't you? Now watch this. This times this is a positive, isn't it? This times this is a negative. What's going to happen to those? Cancel. So now I just got to really worry about this times that, don't I? What's a negative times a positive? Negative x plus 2, because those square roots cancel out. H squared. Oh, ooh, what did I miss up here? You got to multiply it on the bottom. So that's going to be h square root of x plus h plus 2 plus h square root of x plus 2. Sorry about that. Alright. The limit as h approaches 0. This x is going to cancel out because it becomes a negative. This positive 2, and that's going to be a what? 2. That cancels out, and you're left with h. Now, you got h's back here. If I plug 0 in, won't that be 0 plus 0? Because anything times 0 is 0. Plus 0, we still. So what do I need to do on bottom? Factor out of what? H. These cancel. I'm left with 1 over square root of x plus h plus 2 plus square root of x plus 2. Well, now try direct substitution. I plug 0 in. I get 1 over the square root of x plus 2 plus the square root of x plus 2. Well, since they are both the same thing under the radical, can I add those? And that is my derivative right there, because you got to understood 1 and a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, this was kind of weird, the answers on this, because if I plug negative 2 in here, negative 2 plus 2 is what? 0 times something is going to give me 0, so that's undefined, okay? That's undefined. If I plug 1 in, I get 1 plus 2 square root of 3 on the bottom. I didn't count that part of the problem, okay? I won't give you one like that on the test. Are there any questions? Are we dead on formal definition now? Alright. If I made a mistake and I need to relook at it, you put your quiz up here on the arm. Put a big box around something I need to look at, put it up here. Otherwise, put it to the center of your group and turn it face down to the center. Yes. Yes, using the definitions. There's only one part on this that you have to use your definition. It's on these 4 right here. These 4 right here. Alright, Shay, go around back and take all those up for me, please. Alright, now, let's look at, I want you to just pay attention to me for a minute. We're going to do a derivative review. Alright, I'm just going to put some up here. I want you to look at them. Let's go through them. Alright, let's say we had this one right here. Okay. We want to find the derivative. This is using your derivative rules, not the formal definition. Okay, I need to find the derivative of each of them. Okay? Shad, how would I find the derivative of x to the 4th? That's going to give me 4, and then what do I do here? Very good. That would be our derivative there. On this next one, I just find, when it involves a trig function, you only just find the derivative of the trig. Okay, so what's the derivative of cosine, class? Negative sign. Negative sign times a negative 1/2 would be a positive. Do you see that? That's your derivative. What's the derivative of sine, guys? Very good. Alright, let's look at this one. F of x equals 1 plus the cube root of x plus 1 over the square root of x. Okay, I'm going to find, first of all, do I need to rewrite that one? Do I need to rewrite 1? No, we know the derivative of 1 is what, guys? But do I need to rewrite this term? Yes. Do I need to rewrite this term? Yes. So let's rewrite it. How can I rewrite the cube root of x, Lucy? X to the 1/3. Very good. Because you want to write it so it's something that you can bring down and multiply. How can I rewrite this, Mary Catherine? X to the 1/2 or what? Negative 1/2. Because, see, it's in the denominator. So you got to think about, that's going to be a negative 1/2 because you got to bring it up and write it as a fractional exponent. Does everybody understand that? Now, let's go. F prime. You tell me the derivative of 1 is 0. I'm good. 1/3 times 1 is what? 1/3. 1/3 minus 1 is negative 2/3. Do you understand? If I got 1/3, I'm taking 1 off of it, so it'll leave me negative 2/3. If you don't see that, put that in your calculator. Negative 1/2 times 1 is a Negative 1/2 x minus 1 is going to give me negative 3/2. That's my derivative, but I want to clean it up, my final answer. So f prime of x equals 1/3. I'm going to put the cube root. Would it be cubed or square root? Cubed. And that's going to be squared because your root lives underground. So that's cube root. That's your exponent. Minus 1/2. What root will this be here? Square root, and this is going to be what? Cubed. That would be my derivative. Alright, let's look at this one. This is all reviewing for your big test on Wednesday. Which one do I need to rewrite any of these? First, second, or third term? Third. I need to rewrite that, don't I? So, that's going to be x to the what? Negative 5th. Are we good on that? Alright. Caitlin Glover, what's my derivative of this first one right here?
6x.
Very good. Matthew Killingsworth, what's my derivative here?
Negative 4x to the third.
Very good. Kendall, what would be my derivative here, hon? Positive 5 x to what? Negative 4 or negative 6? Because you got a minus 1. That's going to be negative 6. Now, do you understand how I got a positive 5 there? Negative 5 times negative 1. Okay, now I'm going to rewrite it. Like that, so I get rid of that. Are we good on that one? Okay, let's look at this one. Do I need to rewrite? Do I need to rewrite any of those? Which one, first or second term? Okay, how can I rewrite them? 1/5 times x to the what? 1/2 or negative 1/2? Negative 1/2 because it was in the denominator. Alright, f prime. Negative 1/2 times 1/5 would be what? 5, 4, 3, 2, negative 1 what? You should be, come on guys, you're multiplying numerator and denominator. 1 times negative 1 is? 5 times 2 is? That should be within 3 seconds. Okay. Negative 1/2 minus 1. What would that be? 3/2. Okay, what's the derivative of 1/2? 0. You don't have to worry about that. Now let's write it. Negative 1/10. What root would be this x right here? What root? Square, and what exponent? Cubed. And that would be my answer there. Are we good on that one?
Are you going to count off and put 2?
Put what?
Like 2 by the
Put that down there. Put what now, buddy?
It's the square root.
No, you're talking about putting the little 2 in the index now. But you should know if the number's not there, it's understood to be 2. Are there any questions on that? Alright. Let's go over this. This is page 29. Seniors, I told you if you were out Friday, this should be completed by today. Page 29. Number 1, what is the derivative of this one? Sarah, what's the derivative of y equals 3? Y prime would be equal to 0. Y prime equals 0. Very good. Number 2, Shad, what's my derivative? G prime of x equals what? 2x. Very good. 2x. Number 3, Ashley, y prime is equal to 1. Very good. The derivative of 5 is 0. Derivative of x is 1. Number 4, Ryan, what is s prime of t equal to?
3t squared minus 2.
Very good. Number 5, Scotty, what is f prime of x equal to?
F prime of x.
On number 5, what is the derivative of this?
2x minus
x squared. Very good. 2x minus 3 halves x squared. Number 6, h prime, Alyssa, is equal to what?
Negative 4x plus 3.
Very good. Number 7, g prime of x is equal to what? Caroline?
Negative 1 over x squared minus.
Very good. Let's start right there. We're going to take one at a time because this is a long one. Negative 1 over x squared. Continue.
Minus 9 halves square root of x.
The square root of x on bottom.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. No, it don't have to be. No. Square root of x is on the side or in the numerator. Let me write it. I'm going to write it as you say. This is kind of a complicated one. Alright, so we said 1 over x squared, negative 1, because negative 1 times 1, minus 1. So there's that. This will be negative 9 halves square root of x, because 3 halves minus 1 is 1 half, plus 20 over 7. Do y'all agree with that? Huh? Yes, the 7th root of x cubed. Okay. Let me just go through here and do these while you check your work. Number 8, that would be 2x minus 1/4. 1 half minus 1 is negative 1 half, so that means you have the square root of x on bottom there. Do y'all agree with number 8? Number 9, y prime, the derivative of 5 is 0. I'm going to bring this down, 2/3 x to the negative 1/3. I'm going to rewrite that as y prime equals 2/3 the cube root of x. Alright, I want to stop that because I'm going to run out of time. I want us to do these. I want us to just look at these. Okay. Here, this was what was your checkpoint was going to be today. If you can handle these, then you can handle the ones on the test. Okay. Number 1. We should be able to do this in our head. We're not going to do a checkpoint. We're just going to go over these together. Right now. Okay, what I would do first is there's a light basis. So I would say 3 minus 2 is 1 to the light basis first. And then just have the derivative of that. Alright, number 1. When I find the derivative, pay attention. 3 times 1 is 3. That's going to be 3x squared. Don't you dare put anything up right now. Huh? Two times negative 2 is negative 4x plus 5 will be my derivative there. Number 2, f prime of x. 2 times 1/2 is what? 1. That's going to be 2 minus 1 is 1. And then what's the derivative of cosine? That would be my derivative. Number 3, I need to rewrite this as negative 2x to the negative 2nd. I just wrote it like that above it. Now, f prime of x equals 4 times 3 is 12x cubed. 3 times 7 is 21x squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4x to the negative 3. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 minus 1 is 0. I don't have to worry about that x. Now I'm going to rewrite that as f prime of x equals 12x cubed plus 21x squared plus 4 over x cubed to take care of that negative 3 plus 7. Number 4. I have to bring that 2 down. F prime of x. 2 times 3/4 is 6/4. X to the first, 2 minus 1, then reduce it to f prime of x equals 3/2 x. What is the derivative of this right here? 0. I would rewrite this as f of x equals x to the what? Negative 8 times 1 is x to the negative 9. Then I would write it as negative 8 over x to the 9th. You good on that? Now, do you need to rewrite this one? That would be 6t to the 1/2 plus, how do I rewrite that? T to the what? And then go from there. Are y'all good? Or y'all understand what your test is on Wednesday? Okay.
All AP classes during study sessions start.
Have a good one. Your homework is that worksheet back in front.
So Wednesday we have the derivatives test, but Thursday I have my AP Gov.
So you can take it Friday.
So take the
Workshop
math
test Friday. Or you can take the math workshop test in 0 period on Wednesday and then take the derivative and be done.
Okay, I might do that.
But you got the thing on Google, but still
Did you have fun in sixth class?
that was my least favorite.
I was trying this when Evan and I got off.